Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. Today's chapter is about food for plants and animals. And the important points of this lesson are leaves as kitchens of the plant. Plants are important to us. They produce all of the food that animals and people eat. Animals that give us meat eat grass, leaves, or other parts of the plant. If they do not eat plants, they will die. Hence, all of the food that we eat comes from plants. But how do plants get their food? They make their own food. The leaves of the plants can be called as their food factories. Leaves as the kitchen of the plant. Green plants are the only living things that prepare their own food. The leaf is a part of the plant that makes the food. The process of making food in the leaf is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis occurs in the cells of the leaf, which contains chlorophyll. A leaf needs water, carbon dioxide, sunlight, and chlorophyll to complete the process of photosynthesis. So, here is how the process occurs. The plant takes in the water it needs from the roots. The veins carry the water from the roots to the leaf. Tiny pores present under the leaf take in carbon dioxide from the air. Then, the chlorophyll in the leaf absorbs light. Then the process of photosynthesis starts. The leaf uses sunlight energy to make food in the form of starch. Starch is stored as energy. The plant then uses this energy to grow. During this process, oxygen and excess water is produced. Oxygen is a very important part of the air. When we breathe, we take in oxygen which helps keep our bodies alive. Photosynthesis only occurs in the presence of sunlight. Without sunlight, plants cannot make their food. Food for non-green plants. Some plants like yeast, mushroom, mold, and rust do not contain green chlorophyll. They cannot use sunlight to prepare their own food. Hence, they depend on the environment for food in the following ways. 1. They get their food from dead, decaying plants and animals. They are called saprophytes. 2. They depend on other living things for food and are called parasites. Insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants grow in soil that does not contain nitrogen. Insectivorous plants have some features that allow them to get nutrients by trapping and digesting insects. Pitcher plant. The pitcher plant has leaves that resemble long tubes. The inside of the tube is lined with downward penetrating hair. This tube produces sugary nectar and insects enter the tube like leaf. When the insects go in, these hairs prevent the insects from climbing up. The insects die there. The plant's digestive enzymes break down the insects' bodies and the plant gets its food nutrients. Venus flytrap. When this plant is open, it is red and smells sweet. It has stiff hair on each edge. Inside the leaves, there are very sensitive tiny hair. When an insect enters this part of the plant, the leaves shut. Soon the insect dies and the plant absorbs the insect. Useful things from plants. Plants are important to us. They give us useful things. Plants prepare starch. We derive starch from rice, wheat, and potato. Pulses like black gram, green gram, and pea provide us with proteins. Leafy vegetables like cabbage, lettuce, and spinach are rich in vitamins. Fruits also give us precious vitamins. We get edible oil from the coconut, mustard, groundnut, and sesame. Plants like grass provide nutritious fodder for our cattle. Trees give us timber for building houses, boats, and bridges. We need wood to make furniture. We use cheap wood as firewood. The cotton and jute plants give us fibers for making yarn cloth, bags, carpets, and ropes. We use some plants as medicinal herbs. The wonder drug penicillin we made from the fungus. We make paper from bamboo stems. Now, did you know? Bamboo is actually a type of grass and not tree. That is why it grows rapidly and we can produce a big bamboo plant in 3 to 5 years. Animal classifications on the basis of food habits. On the basis of food habits, we can divide animals into 5 groups: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, and parasites. Herbivores. Animals that only eat plants, grass, and leaves are called herbivores. They have flat teeth to cut and grind the plant matter. Cows, horses, goats, deer, zebras, and giraffes are herbivorous animals. Carnivores. Animals that eat flesh of other animals are called carnivores. They have sharp, tearing teeth for eating meat. Lions, tigers, and snakes are carnivorous animals. Omnivores. Omnivores eat both plants and the flesh of other animals. Human beings, bears, crows, cockroaches are omnivores. Scavengers. Some animals feed on the flesh of dead animals. They are called scavengers. Vultures, hawks, and hyenas are scavengers. Parasites. Some animals live on or inside the body of other living things to get their food. They are called parasites. Tapeworms, roundworms, and hookworms live inside the host animal's body. Now, did you know? Scaly skinned animals like snakes and lizards are called reptiles. Some live in water and some live on land. Food chain and food web. Do you like to play games? If you do, you will need energy. Every time you jump or run, you are using energy from your body. Where do you get this energy from? You get this energy from the food you eat. Similarly, all living things get their energy from food, which they use to move and grow. As food passes through the body, some of it is digested. This process of digestion releases energy. A food chain shows how each living thing gets its food. Some animals eat plants, and some animals eat other animals. For example, a simple food chain links the trees and shrubs, the giraffes that eat trees and shrubs, and the lions that eat the giraffes. Each link in this chain is food for the next link. Plants are called producers because they produce food, sugar, by the process of photosynthesis. Animals cannot produce their own food, hence, they eat plants or other animals and are called consumers. There are 3 groups of consumers. In nature, these food chain relationships are not so isolated. They can be very complex because one organism needs food from many organisms. Thus, instead of a simple linear food chain, we get a web-like structure of these interlinked food chains. Such interconnected matrix of some food chains is called the food web. The food web is defined as a number of food chains interconnected at various trophic levels so as to form feeding connections among different organisms in a biotic community. Now, did you know? A food chain always starts with plant life and ends with animal life. So here is a glossary of the lesson. Enzymes. A substance produced by a living organism which acts as a catalyst to bring about a biochemical reaction. Stiff means not easily bent. Fodder means food. Herbivores means animals that eat plants. Parasites are living things that depend on other living things. Omnivores, an animal or person that eats food from plants and animals. Now here is a mind map of the lesson. Leaves are the kitchen of the plant. Non-green plants cannot produce their own food, so they use the environment. Insectivorous plants like the pitcher plant and the Venus flytrap feed on insects. Animals can be classified on the basis of their food habits into five groups: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, and parasites. The way a living being gets its food is called the food chain.